This video will show how to tighten the chain on the Famag IM-5, IM-8, or IM-10 mixer before doing any service work or removing any of the safety panels from your mixer. Be sure to disconnect your machine from power and keep it disconnected until the work is done and the safety covers are back on. Chain tension should be checked periodically on these machines and adjusted to keep them from being loose. You also need to check the chain. If you hear the machine making any kind of clattering, loud clattering, clunking, banging kind of noises, the lower part of the machine has belt drive components in it. They will seldom make any noise. Any sort of banging or clattering, clunking noises would be coming from the chain and likely indicate that the chain is too loose. If chain becomes so loose that it actually comes off the sprocket, that can damage other components in the head of the mixer and can become quite costly. A chain flying off can destroy your control board here, might damage the switch here, might damage this bowl guard safety switch, might damage your bowl sensor. So for that and other reasons, you want to keep the chain in proper tension. One of the things that might cause the chain to suddenly become loose is if this bowl, I should say, dough hook assembly on this whole sprocket gets loose and shifts backward a little bit. Another cause of trouble is if something gets into the mixer bowl, some foreign object, and jams against the between the dough hook and the bowl, and might actually bend the lower part of this housing. So one thing you need to check for if you have a noisy chain that isn't quieted by simply tightening it is put a straight edge across the tops of both sprockets. They need to be at the same height as each other and parallel with each other, so they're in the same plane. If they're not, then you have a more serious problem that needs to be investigated. But in most cases, all that a loose chain needs is to be tightened. So I'm going to lift this head. There are two bolts, one here, I'm going to loosen a little bit, and one here on the other side of the dough hook. I'm going to loosen that a little bit. And we'll lower this back down again. And then you can see that the chain has become extremely loose now. I'm going to put a bar clamp. This is a rather big one. You could certainly use a smaller one. You don't have to put a lot of tension on this. We're not really tightening the chain so much as we are just taking the looseness out of it. So now we have this clamped. It's just a little bit of pressure and the chain has no slack left. Now pulling this way with the clamp puts a little bit of a bend or twist in the dough hook assembly. So to counteract that, we're going to pull upward away from the mixer on the dough hook itself. You don't have to pull real hard, just a moderate pull. Then we're going to tighten these two bolts again. You'll lower the head back down, take our clamp off, and we've taken all of the excess slack out of that chain, and the process is finished.